Hi. It's been a little while since I've been live, but I am inspired to share some really amazing information that is not new, but I'm going to try to help connect some dots for people who may have been confused or uncertain or just disbelieving or just don't really want to pay attention to the bigger picture here. So I'm going to explain a couple things to you about the sexual assaults and the harassment and the climate in the Vermont National Guard, because yet again, another article is released touting General Knight as one of a kind because he's the one who implemented the most recent study on the climate in the National Guard. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just showing you guys some pictures. So in 2018, the National Guard was in Vermont, depicted through the Vermont Digger in a series called The Flying Fraternity, with rampant sexual assault, horrible leadership, and this was primarily the Air Guard. And this picture is pretty important, so I'm going to zoom in. But see, there you see General Cray, who was the Adjutant General of Vermont, and he's standing next to Phil Scott, who's the current governor of Vermont. And then you see Doris Sumner back here, and then Captain Detweiler. Doris Sumner is one of the most amazing women I've ever met in my entire life and has dedicated her entire life, her career, to the National Guard and to the service, and has been one of the most outspoken leaders for gender, climate, equality in the National Guard. Next to her in this picture is Captain Detweiler. So this is important because Captain Detweiler in 2018 sat me down at the conclusion of my sexual assault investigation and told me that through the investigation, he and Chief Sumner were redirected into cold storage, into paper storage filing systems, and found that the man who sexually assaulted me in 2016 had been reported for sexually assaulting someone else many years before this. The results and the repercussions of that were a pretend emotion and filing the paperwork away in cold storage, and nothing ever happened to him. Now this is where it gets really interesting. We said General Cray was the general at the time when these articles came out. Now, the current Adjutant General is Gregory Knight. Here he is. I advocated for Gregory Knight to be the Adjutant General to my representatives, and I felt very excited for the command climate that he was going to bring. Little did I know that General Knight was command of the Recruiting and Retention Battalion or command of HRO, which means Human Resources, of the National Guard when my sexual assaulter sexually assaulted someone else. So what that means is that Gregory Knight knew that Jerry Wolfenberger had sexually assaulted someone else before this. He, as top of the food chain in the HRO or in the RRB, allowed it to happen, hid the demotion, hid the paperwork, and allowed Jerry Wolfenberger to stay in the Guard and continue to assault and attack women like myself. So now, remember, he's the Adjutant General. He reported last year that there were no issues in the Vermont National Guard, despite 30 plus women and men coming forward claiming their issues of sexual assault, discrimination, and harassment. So now we have Gregory Knight as the Adjutant General. We have Phil Scott, here he is in this picture, taking over command from General Cray. Now this is where it gets even better for my life. This picture is a little bit tough because VPR really likes to make sure that they're known for taking this picture. Here's a picture of Phil Scott and Governor Shumlin. Governor Shumlin was the governor of Vermont like 8 years ago, 6 years ago now, something like that. He was the governor when I returned home from Afghanistan in 2011 is when we got back. 10, 11, something like that. At my coming home ceremony, my family did not know who Governor Shumlin was because he was just coming in as governor, and he was talking with them, and my sisters told me that he made them feel very uncomfortable afterwards. What's even better is that at that ceremony, Governor Shumlin came up to me and also groped me just like Jerry Wolfenberger did, except this man was the governor. So the best part of that is that Phil Scott was Governor Shumlin's lieutenant governor. So these are the same men handing power back and forth, assaulting women, hiding the assaults, hiding the assaulters, and now an article comes out that says the good old boy system is alive and well, but Adjutant General Knight should be applauded for conducting an investigation. Let me tell you what actually should be happening. These men should be resigning. These men should be forfeiting their retirements. These men should be out of power and out of control. Molly Gray is now the lieutenant governor of Vermont. If Molly Gray runs for governor of Vermont next year, we can all be blessed, but she has now been under Phil Scott for this governor role. She also is associated with the Democrats who hid Governor Shumlin's assault on many different women, including myself. So we can sit here and say that Vermont is safe and perfect and beautiful and healthy. But the people who serve and sacrifice this state in order to keep it as amazing as it is, like myself, like the 30 other women in the Vermont National Guard who have sacrificed and hurt, don't want to hear the nice exchanges about our government and about our state anymore, because things need to be done. Changes need to happen. And instead of electing the same 4, 5, 6, 7 different men, here's Milne, Lieutenant Governor Republican Milne. Instead of electing these same garbage men, why don't you put your vote where your mind is and where your heart is and vote for women, vote for me, vote for people who have experience in the systems that need to be changed. Because right now, all I'm seeing is a bunch of fraud and a bunch of old, white, gross criminals who are running the state of Vermont and the Vermont Army and the Air National Guard. And if you're going to allow that, then I can't just sit here and do nothing for another election cycle. And I can't just sit here and watch the women and men that I trained and that I convinced their parents and told them that they were going to be safe in our state's armed forces be led by liars and corrupt criminals. And I hope that you stand with me, and I hope you share this video, and I hope you let General Knight know, and I hope you let Phil Scott know, and I hope you let Governor Peter Shumlin know that their behaviors and their mindset and their belief system is not accepted in Vermont. And we can do better, and we must do better. So, please share this video. Please don't vote Phil Scott, Milne, Shumlin, any of these people into power. Please do not keep voting the same men who are hurting women, assaulting women, and then hiding it for each other back into power. We must do better. The organization that is serving and fighting and sacrificing for every Vermonter to claim Vermont as the best place to live needs Vermonters to care about the service members and the leaders who lead these service members, starting from the top. Governor Phil Scott, out. Adjutant General Knight, out. Get them out of here. This is disgusting, and it's appalling. As a victim of these men's sexual assaults, to watch them tout each other, to watch them clap for each other, to watch them pat each other on the back makes my blood boil. And I am not done trying to do something about it. Last year was an honor to run for governor. I earned 1,777 votes. Out of the 235 Vermont townships, 231 towns had a vote for me. My game's not over, it's just beginning. And I pray to God every single day for justice, for hope, and for people to vote for the truth. And that's what we need to bring into the next couple years, is people into power who believe in the truth, who believe in punishment, and who believe that we can make a difference and we can make a change, and that 34 years old is not too young to be governor. 43 years old is not too young to be governor. Being a woman doesn't make me unqualified for governor. Molly Gray, I hope she runs for governor. Granted, I hope Republicans take the win, but we must spend the next year really reflecting on our ideologies and decide if these men who have masked themselves as heroes, well, they've stood aside and actually attacked true heroes, keep power. And my answer is no. They should not keep the power. They should be resigned. They should be held responsible, and they should be held liable. So I hope that this little picture story resonates with some of you, and I hope that you share this. Put them on blast, guys. Put your assaulters on blast. Stop letting them hide in the dark. Stop letting the people, the good old boys, hide the people who hurt you. These are men who have been able to retire, who are collecting cash, sitting at home, while the victims of sexual assault deal with the repercussions. And I'm sick of watching the men who hide these people gain more power and gain more control. You can do something about it by voting differently. I can do something about it by running. And you know what's even better is you can do even more by running for office too. Veterans and military members can serve in the Vermont legislature. So do it. Put yourself on your state, on your town's ballot. Put yourself out there. Help me, help us. That's how we do this. That's how we make the change. We don't just keep electing the same old, boring, white, corrupt patriarchy power. What is this? What is this? Stop it. Make it stop now.